She's stuck inside my mental. She got a body like a temple. Even though she drives me crazy, I tell everyone that's my baby.
Hi.
That
was a very abrupt ending to our intro song.
That's kind of how it goes.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It's how the cookie crumbles
Mm-hmm.
every single time?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
I mean, yeah, it does all the time. That's what I do. I just hit this and boom.
Oh, I thought it like fades.
No.
Oh, that would be nice though.
Well, in post, I could.
Mm-hmm.
However, I just been letting it do what it do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. I am Beautiful.
And I'm Ace.
And we are
Together real bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Welcome back to the show for those who are listening again, and welcome to those who are first-time listeners. Welcome.
Hey, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome all.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Lame as hell. All right, go.
Why we gotta be lame?
That was lame. I didn't say we're lame.
Okay. I mean, I am, but I'm okay. I'm okay though. I'm good. Okay, you said go.
Yeah.
First of all, let me stop saying to transition. That's my goal.
Yeah.
But it's just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you want me to, well, I want to try and stop, but you also want me to try and stop.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Just a little bit. I mean, I do it too sometimes. So
okay.
We can both do better at that.
Okay. We'll work on it this episode. What is it? Okay. We are now on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We will do every other episode. One will go on YouTube and the other will go on Patreon. It will be for our paid subscribers. Shout out to those people who have subscribed. We appreciate you. Dang,
You didn't put it in there.
I got nothing.
Girl, we don't have time for this.
That works. No? Okay. Okay.
Isn't the DJ air horn right there?
Oh, I forgot about that. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Nope. Yes, you're correct. So yes, shout out to our Patreon subscribers. I just wanted to hit the button again.
Okay.
And shout out to our paid and free subscribers. We definitely appreciate you. Again, we're doing every other episode, one episode for visuals only. Visuals only. You will still be able to find the audio on your favorite podcast platform. The visuals will be, this one will be on YouTube. So if you like to see our faces, which you might this episode, ting. Watch YouTube. So damn, did it again. It's so hard. How are you? Those are our dogs growling in the background. We cannot win. If we put them up, they're going to bark. If we leave them out, they're going to make noise. But hopefully they can resolve it themselves.
So we apologize because once the growling starts, there's the bark.
Yeah, so and that would be Kenzie.
Yeah. Hey.
So what's going on right now is that Kenzie and Coda have approximately 3 bones. 2 of the bones are basically the same, and the other one is a white bone that neither one of them really likes. So one of the red bones is like smooth, and the other red bone that they like has like ridges in it. So Kenzie prefers supposedly the smooth bone. Right. So, and Coda really doesn't care. She just wants a bone to chew on. But the way Kenzie is set up is that she wants everything to herself. She's selfish in that regard. If Coda has the rigid bone and she has a smooth bone, she will drop the smooth bone to go get Coda's bone just because Coda has it. I don't know why she does it. I don't know where she gets it from.
She's selfish.
Yes, she's very selfish with those bones. And we try to just give her bone, but she always drops it at some point and goes to try and take Coda's bone. So recently Coda has started to fight back.
Yeah.
She's been growling, which is probably who was growling. She's been growling, saying like, hey, no. And I realized that like this is probably kind of like resource guarding but they don't really like fight afterwards.
No, they don't.
They just kind of growl at each other, and either Coda will drop it or she won't, and Kenzie will just bark until we go and switch them out and give her what she wants. So that's what you just witnessed. Anyway, I know that was off topic, but I thought we should explain. So
shout out our platforms.
Yes. So if you like what you hear, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, those or together.real.badpod. Patreon is the same, together.real.badpod. We're really trying to get our Patreon numbers up. And you can also, if you have an SOS letter, we haven't had one in a while, but we can still do that. You can hit us up at the number 2getherrealbad@gmail.com. How are you? Are you going to go away again?
Yeah, Coda is chewing on the remote.
Oh, so we came home yesterday and we had put like lights on our TV, the ones that go behind, and some of them will change color with the sound, and some of them will just be on and change color. So they were really cheap. I bought lights, put them on the back, and Coda chewed up the remote to the lights, which is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal, but we need the remote.
Yeah.
She can't chew that up. So we took that from her, and hopefully they'll be okay. Otherwise, the next time they're going in the room and they're just going to be barking until we get done. Mm-hmm. Yes.
But anyway, you asked how I am.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm doing well as well. Yeah. How was your week so far? Monday.
It's only Monday.
However, it is only Monday, but you text me like, I'm ready to come home now.
I didn't say it like that, but like so we started our new spring session today.
Mm-hmm.
So before you start every class, you have to go through rules and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the rules, you call out the kids, and then you start introducing them to your way of teaching the class.
Okay.
So I like a very structured class. Today I had all Twinkle Star classes, which means they're all preschoolers, not even. Some of them aren't even in school yet. So that's ages 3 to 5 years old.
That's so cute.
Yeah, some of them. Some of them are cute.
Okay.
But then you have the ones that just don't listen. And then you also have ones that has delayed speech, and so you have to.
Oh, their communication isn't.
Yes,
okay.
which is one of the only things that the mom had spoke to me about before the class started. Mm-hmm. She said that he had delayed speech. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. We'll work on it. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, I feel like gymnastics, and I'll preach this to anybody. Gymnastics is a great foundational sport for anything that a kid is going to do in life. So she told me about his delayed speech, but then at the end of class, she then starts to mention like, oh, he has a hard time being still. If he needs something to fidget, let me know. If like I could bring in his ball. I'm not sure how problematic that would be. And I'm just like, girl, these are the things you should have told me bore class.
They don't have a form that they fill out or anything?
No. However, if your child is has some type of disability, you can opt for an aide. And the Chicago Park District will pay for an aide to come and assist me with class, because I can't keep chasing around Jody. Mm-hmm. And I got 9 other kids that are there for the class. Like, it's not fair.
Right.
But the good thing about it is that I run my classes, like I said, very structured. So a lot of them are familiar with how I do things. Mm-hmm. And so they know, hey, we at this station or we're doing this obstacle course. I know what to do at every single station. I'm just going to go and do it. So I don't have to watch them as much as I do the new kids that are coming into the class. So it's that getting new kids. See, there I go with the
It's okay.
Getting new kids used to seeing my face, hearing my voice, and being away from their parents. That's always a task. So, it's a lot on the first day.
Yeah. On the first day back.
First day back. Yes. So, I was ready to come home. I was tired. I was tired of the kids. After having 2 weeks of no kids, like no babies, no classes to teach outside of team, I was tired.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish you would have came home. I would have left work, or I would have left the studio.
When I said I was ready
I was
to
like,
leave.
you coming? I didn't say that in my head. I'm like, is she coming? I knew you weren't, but it's a nice thought. Anyway,
How are you?
I'm good. I went into the studio early this morning trying to get work done, and like I text you, I was working on something for so long because I couldn't get it to export or to render, is what I told you. So, meaning basically spit out a video. So, I did finally get that, but it just took way longer than I thought it would. So I did that and one other thing, and then I went to the gym, and then because there's a gym there, and then came back inside the studio and uploaded a few things, and I came home, and that was my day. And this day went really quick, which is it just went like super quick. Like when I sat down to actually do work, because you know I get there and like, as they say, fart around for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. The day just flew. So I still have my to-do list. I might try and go in earlier tomorrow too. We'll see. There's some things I really need to get done, mainly invoicing some folks, because need that. Other than that, I'm cool.
How is this new gym that you've been going to?
I like it because it's in the building. So not Planet Fitness. LA Fitness is right down the street. When I say right down the street, maybe it's like a mile or 3 miles, maybe straight down the street that my studio is off of. And it's not a big deal to just like, it shouldn't be a big deal to get out of the studio, get in the car, go down there and I'll do all the things. But it's like, it is, because I want to work out, but I just, the mindset is like, oh, I gotta work out. And so with it being right there, literally like 100 feet away, it just makes it easy to go in. I don't have to worry about putting my stuff down, if like, you know, because I just leave it in the studio. So I love that about it. I'm not a big fan of the cost, but I understand why it costs what it costs. It's $75 a month, which is extremely high when you're paying $22 a month at LA Fitness. But for the convenience factor right now, I might do one more month and then I'll transition over to LA Fitness. Like, hopefully I'll be in a rhythm and be there. But it's cool. It has everything that I need. I think a lot of weightlifters or bodybuilders use that gym. It seems like they have like a kind of a close-knit type of community there. They know each other. But I don't have any complaints. It gives what it needs to give, as they say. Yeah. Maybe
maybe after this next month trial that you do, I'll be ready to jump on back in at LA Fitness with you. So,
okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
We'll see.
All right.
Well, no updates to the coming out diaries, or no, it's not coming out. What do you call
coming
it?
out diaries.
That's not what it's called.
Coming out update.
Yeah, there's no coming out update. I did talk to my dad.
So people can see your beautiful face.
It's not beautiful right now.
Oh gosh, here you go. It is. Go ahead.
I did talk to my dad, and actually he called me, and he was just calling to hear my voice, which is nice. So I think that's looking up.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that.
I didn't think it was ever looking down, but okay.
Okay, well, you weren't going through it. Date night diaries.
I was with you.
You were with me, but you don't have the relationship that I have with my dad.
Of course not.
So
however, I go through with you, whatever you go through, the same as when I go through stuff, you go through with me.
Okay. I appreciate that. Date night diaries. So 2 weeks ago now, right?
Yes.
2 weeks ago, I surprised.
That was last week, no?
No, that wasn't last week.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What did we do last week?
Last week, I never know. We gotta do better.
So bad.
What did we do?
What? Let me look at my calendar. I'm almost sure that was last week.
No, it was on the 21st.
Are my days running together?
I mean, not 21st, 22nd.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, that was last week.
That was last week?
Yes, that was last week.
God damn. I feel like so much more time has passed.
Oh,
I apologize.
yes,
okay, well.
I said that earlier today, like, we did that last week. You're like, no. I'm like, oh, I think we did. But I'm sorry,
it feels like 3 weeks have passed since
it does. I feel you. It does.
Okay. Well, okay. So last week I surprised Ace with a staycation here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard for me to keep a secret. I enjoy gifting and surprising you, but I have a problem holding in
what it is
because I'm so excited for it and I want your reaction and all the things. So I was like, do you want me to tell you? Do you want a hint? Like,
and I'm like, no.
It's so boring. Me, on the other hand, I am the exact opposite. I'm like, tell me. Even though I like the surprise element, but I be wanting to know some things. I be having to be prepared.
I be telling you, just let it go. You're going to be walking around here.
It's honestly better that I don't know anything like that. There's no surprise coming.
With no ring on your finger.
Stop it. It's better that I don't know that there's a surprise coming, because other than if I do know, I'm going to pry.
And be nosy.
Yeah.
Not only pry, but act like you, like just not, I shouldn't say be nosy. I should say be curious. Because last time when you saw the rings up on my computer, you could have just let it go. However, you didn't. So I'm going to call it not nosy, but curious. Because you don't go looking per se for evidence.
No.
But if you see it, you're going to say something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can't let it go.
I know.
So the place that we stayed was Black owned because we're trying to continue on supporting our Black owned businesses. We stayed at the Ivy Hotel in Streeterville. And how did you like it?
I liked it. I thought the location was good. It was clean. It was a little aged and dated, but I was fine with that. It gave like we weren't far from anywhere. We walked everywhere.
Yeah.
And and we were fine. And it wasn't like 70 degrees out. It was 45, 50. And we were just fine. So based on like location, based on ambiance, atmosphere, like I loved it. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Okay. 9 out of 10?
Or 4 out of 5,
Oh, 4.
However
really?
you want it. Yeah.
All right, 4 out of 5. Okay, good. Well, okay. So my experience, customer service, I would say is decent. I called to change so first of all, I made the reservations online. I had to call and shift our dates around a little bit, just adjust them a day. I called to do that, and the receptionist was not able to do it and told me to call the manager the next day, which I thought was odd because why are you working the front desk and not able to work the system? You
should have asked the manager like, what's that about?
Well, I didn't want to get into it. Okay. So I called the next day. I called the next day and the manager was very accommodating. And I appreciated her help. She knew what I needed right away. She got it done for me. And there was nothing more that I needed to do outside of tell her the dates that I wanted them to be shifted to. I do believe that with them shifting the dates, I should have been paying less overall because that day was less than the day that we were supposed to come in. But I just let it go.
Okay.
Because I even asked her at the end, I was like, okay, is there anything you need on my end? Do I need to pay more? Do I need to give you my credit card number? Anything like that? She was like, nope, I just adjusted it, made it easy because you booked directly through us and not through, a third party. So I just let it go. So customer service wise, it was good. We pulled up and there's this lounge that they have in the front. And it was very naked, very naked. I expected, at least from the pictures, which I feel like they need to update. I'm not sure if the lounge serves alcohol only certain times of the year.
I was going to say, maybe they just open it for the summer.
Maybe, possibly.
Because the place next door was jumping.
Yeah, Aloft was definitely bussing. It made me want to go up there on a Saturday night. The lobby, it was full of people. They had a DJ. The bar was lit. Anyway, so it was very disappointing to walk into our hotel and the bar was bare. When I tell you bare, not even.
No chairs.
No, there were chairs.
There were chairs at the bar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There were chairs, but there's no alcohol, not a POS system in sight, none of that. I walking in, that's what I initially saw, and it didn't look like the pictures. We get upstairs. Oh, they only had one elevator working. We go upstairs, and our room is right off the elevator, which is fine. We walk in. To the naked eye, the room was very clean. I can't say that. The room was clean. Then you start looking at details, which I'm a detail-oriented person, and you start knowing the imperfections in a lot of things. And that's what I didn't appreciate. I think the reason why I didn't appreciate it is because I worked in the hospitality industry before in 2 different hotels, the London House Hotel as well as Viceroy Hotel. So I know the quality of 5-star hotels. Not to say that this was a 5-star hotel, but they have 4.2 stars.
That's 4.2 stars from the people.
From the people. Yes.
3-star when it just in general, whoever, I don't know who rates hotels and how they do it, but it's probably like a 3-star.
No, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, I guess from the 4.2 stars that I saw from the people, I expected a lot more from them. On top of the fact that my algorithm would not leave me alone about this place. And so I was super excited to book. And then when we get there, it was very lackluster. I don't want to speak too bad about the place because it is a Black-owned hotel. And I do want them to do well. It seemed like very diverse people staying there. We saw people from all over that were guests for the weekend. So that was nice to see. I just wish that things were a little bit more polished.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't mind. I understand what you were saying, but to me, cleanliness above all. And then cleanliness and then comfortability and then like the kind of like the details. So when we pulled back the sheets on the bed, crisp white new sheets, like no hairs, nothing. I felt comfortable laying my head right on the pillow. So that's, if it's clean, I can deal with a lot.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'm just gonna be like scrunched up in the bed, or I don't want to touch anything. So it was cool. I mean, I would recommend it. I don't know if you would.
I mean, I would, because the cleanliness is like top.
Yeah.
Top of the list. And they had that down pack. I think my expectations were so high, I expected more.
Yeah.
But I would recommend going there. There aren't many amenities at all. Actually, there are none.
Yeah.
There is no gym. So if you like to work
pool.
Out when you, no pool.
No patio either at the point where we were at.
Yeah. So they do have a rooftop terrace, and on the pictures, it looks very nice. We went up there that day, and obviously weather permitting, they didn't have anything out there, but I'm sure the doors were locked. Yeah. They had, everything out. Yeah. Patio furniture stacked up on the inside. So it was not accessible to guests at all. So it was, disappointing to see that they didn't have any amenities either. But yeah, Black-owned hotel, beautiful. As far as cleanliness, 10 out of 10. Would recommend on those notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just want the details, like replace some of the furniture that's a little beat up and Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Along with our staycation, we also had a surprise date to a pottery making class. And the only reason why I'm mentioning this right now is, well, we had a good time, minus the fact that I got frustrated because mine just was not turning out the way I wanted it to. And practicing patience for me in that moment was very, very hard.
Almost impossible in that moment.
Yeah. Actually, I think I told the instructor to just go ahead and make my boat for me at some point, because I couldn't, I was so, I'm a perfectionist. So if I can't get something the first, second, or even the third doggone time, I'm pissed off. I don't want to do this shit no more.
In my most loving voice and tone, you weren't doing what the instructor was saying to do.
I was trying to.
No.
Yes, I was trying to.
In my opinion, because when I was trying to show you how she was saying, you still wouldn't do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Was this past the point of me being over it?
This was before you were really, really over it, I'm like, I'll help you. This is what you got to do. Because I think you had gotten a new ball and I was like, you got to pull it like this. And then you have to push it like this. And then once you push it like this, I'm sorry, y'all can't see it that if you're listening to this, but once you push it this way, then you have to take it and hold your hand this way. And then, and I was trying to tell you how to do those.
And I was trying.
Okay. If you say so, yes, ma'am.
I was trying and I wasn't doing a great job at it. Would I do it again? Sure.
Sure.
Probably not at that place though. I know you hate it.
Why?
Because did you see what I sent you today?
No.
So the place is called Color Cocktail Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why, because I expected with the name Color Cocktail Factory, I expected
a cocktail.
Maybe
it's BYOB.
Some point. It probably is BYOB. Okay. I'm not sure if our class. I'm sure our class was not, because we're working with our hands and it gets kind of messy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that wasn't advertised for that class. But they do have other classes that you can take, like painting or sculpting
or making a dildo.
That would be sculpting.
Okay. I just wanted to put that out there because that was what that was
one
being
of the classes.
made.
Yeah. It was not a. It's not that you could use the dildo, but they were sculpting.
Let me change that too. It was a phallic symbol.
Okay.
To make it more politically correct.
Okay. Well, I'm sure those classes possibly had advertisements of BYOB because it's less messy as far as the project goes. But the reason why I am bringing it up is because there was this video that this lady posted on, I don't know if it was Instagram or Instagram or TikTok. And she was saying that she had been taking classes at the Color Cocktail Factory for some time now, different sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And this one particular day, the instructor seemed to be very rude to her and her group and nice to like a different table. And so she at some point got up to tell the owner like, hey, this instructor is being kind of rude.
Mm-hmm.
Can you like help out in some way, kind of like talk to her or whatever it was? Because she had her mother with her too for this class.
Oh, so she definitely wasn't, because I would have been the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the owner, believe it or not, was like giving her pushback and told her to get her ugly black ass up out of his establishment.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Did she have video of this?
Yes. So she started recording. She started recording, and all of a sudden he didn't want to repeat what he said and all the things. So
wow.
Yeah, I won't be going back there again. And I hate that, this came out after us having that experience. But they're not the only pottery place
in town.
Actually, a friend of mine just took a pottery class somewhere else and was having the same issues as me, making her piece. But there's other places to patron that we don't have to be places where we're not wanted. And clearly this Black lady and her group was not wanted. So we will not be visiting back there again.
Well, we will, just so I could go pick up our...
Oh, yeah. Well, we won't be paying them anymore. They won't be giving them any more of my money. So, yeah, that is the Color Cocktail Factory. So, yeah.
I guess we won't be patronizing them.
Another date night diaries. We have an event that we went to this past weekend. The Tattoo Festival over in Rosemont. You want to talk about that?
Tattoo convention. Yeah. Villain Arts puts on a tattoo convention, I think twice a year. I feel like I saw it last year in March and September, at least once a year that we know of. So we went out to Rosemont to this tattoo festival, and I loved it so much. I could have been there all day.
We were
all day, but I'm talking about beyond the time that we had to leave. I could have just been there, just getting random ass tattoos and just out here doing anything. Mm-hmm. But went there. I'd been wanting to go for quite some time. I kind of knew what to expect, but I didn't know what to expect. So prior to us going, I reached out to one of the artists that were going to be there. They're out of Memphis, Black owned, because we got matching tattoos. We wanted to get matching tattoos. So we got there probably about 11:30, got those done. They're small, so they were very quick. once we did that, I was like, okay, we got to have some plan of action because it was huge and there were so many vendors. So we kind of walked back to the beginning and just went up and down every aisle. We saw like people getting tattoos live. We saw people
snakes. So we saw different animals that people brought up there.
A possum was there. A snake was there.
Somebody had a damn possum.
He was so cute. He was so cute. He was tame. He was domesticated. He was fine.
I'm sorry. No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Oh, Lord.
So
anyhow, he was fine. He was fine. There was a huge yellow snake, and then there was another. The same exhibit, I guess, had another snake, and you could pay to take pictures, I believe. We saw I don't know what it's called, but it is a traditional style of tattooing from some Asian, I believe, culture. Maybe it was Asian, but they use a needle and ink, and then they use like that tapping method, which I thought was really cool. I would have actually loved to get a tattoo like that way, just because of how cool it looks.
I don't know if I would. I
don't really care about the pain factor. I just think it's cool as hell.
I don't know. I feel like that would take forever as well. So I'm like, nah, don't.
Possibly.
I think the first time I ever saw that technique was like on a video of Rihanna getting a tattoo like that. I could be wrong, but I think it was her.
Yeah. So walked around, we encountered someone who was doing To the Gems, which is why I said at the beginning, maybe you want to watch this on YouTube so you can see. We both got To the Gems. Mine has to grow on me. First of all, like you said, it looks like a go-to from afar.
Yeah.
It's just a blinging. But when you get up close, I think it looks better. I think what I should have done was gotten a smaller one, so more tooth was showing and like less gem, quote unquote gem. But I'm cool with it. I like it.
It almost looked like a weed plant.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Is that fitting?
I don't know.
But what is it? You said it was a lotus? It's supposed to be a lotus?
It looked like, I guess it's supposed to be
resemble a lotus. Yeah. So that's that. If you're on YouTube, you can see. Ting. So we did that. And then you got a butterfly.
I already had one on one side, but I got the butterfly on the other.
Ting. Which I think looks really, really good on you.
I like it too.
Yeah, it looks really good. So we did that. Then we walked around a little bit more and we were talking about piercings, or you were talking about piercings. You've been thinking about this for a while. So you just was like, we out here doing anything? Forget about it. Let's do it. So you got your septum pierced.
I did.
And she was not happy, y'all.
That I've ever endured in my life. Okay. And that's coming from somebody that I don't even know how many piercings I have at this point. It's got to be at least 20. Okay. Over my entire body.
I was going to say, and probably 3/4 of them are on your head somehow.
Yeah. And I have 3 other nose piercings. This one was the 4th. And this one was the worst. I don't know why. Everybody's different. Nobody lied. No lies were told. Maybe because I had a low expectation of how the pain level was going to be.
Possibly.
And so I went into it thinking that it wasn't going to hurt as bad because so many people told me who have septum piercings that it doesn't really hurt.
Me being one of them.
I have a high pain tolerance. So I'm like, oh shit, well, this wouldn't be nothing. Mind you, I just got my smiley done a couple weeks ago and I literally felt nothing. Okay.
But that's the location. That location is.
Yes, but I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. So I'm like, okay, another piercing that, is not going to feel like much. And I'm here. So, hey, what the heck? Why not do it?
Yeah.
I sat down and yes, I recorded it. Maybe we'll put it on Patreon.
I can put it on Patreon.
Okay. So I recorded me getting this piercing from my point of view. And then Ace also got it from her point of view. And it was not enjoyable at all. I regretted it immediately after the needle was pushed through my nose.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did not have the same experience. The nose ring that I have hurt way more than the septum. The septum was literally like a pinch. So I'm wondering if she got like that upper like cartilage that's thicker instead of just...
She did something and some told me just, go ahead and wait or find another piercing place.
Well, we could have got it done at the very first place we stopped at, but they were charging for jewelry and the piercing.
Yeah, they were charging $60 for the piercing plus jewelry. I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, bye. Fuck out of here.
I mean, but we'll never know. You might have had the same experience either way.
Possibly. You're right, possibly. But just like some of my other really bad piercings that I've had in the past,
Mhm.
if this one ever closes up, I will never be getting it again.
It won't close up.
You goddamn Skippy, because I'm not taking this out. I might switch it out. I'm gonna go to a piercer and have them change my ring, if anything. But I'm not taking this out.
You will. Once it heals, you will.
I'm not taking. What I'm saying is I'm not gonna let this hole close up.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean by
Okay, got it.
that. But yeah, so we was just out there doing anything.
Literally.
Got a tattoo. I got one of my tattoos touched up. Tooth gems and
a piercing.
And a piercing.
And I got a tattoo and a piercing. And I wanted to get another tattoo, but I couldn't find anything that kind of like they have $100 and $120 tattoos, like the outlines. I couldn't find anything that I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we left.
Yeah.
And I wanted to stay. And then we went to the football game.
Yeah, we went to the football game to support the Chicago Winds, and shout out to them for the W, their very first W
Woots.
at the beginning of their inaugural season. So we have a lot of friends that play on that team. A lot of them have been teammates at some point. So just really proud of you guys for making it this far and getting your first W.
Yeah, y'all did it.
Y'all did that. All right. On to the topic of tonight.
So the topic tonight is trying to think if I want to call it what I want to call it.
I thought you named this episode already.
I did, but I try to I don't know, put a spin on it. But anyway, the topic is, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship? Basically saying, are you more focused in your relationship on being right, as we say, or having your ego take over, or being petty, or whatever the case is? Are you more concerned with that, or are you more concerned with your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the topic. So we have a few subtopics here that we'll kind of go through, and we'll talk about if we can relate to them in our relationship and maybe how we work through them. And I know for a fact that it was like a thing in my last relationship. It was like about being right.
Well, you kind of brought that into this one too, in a way, only because the very first thing we're going to talk about is the I told you so.
Which I hate it. I hate it. Even though sometimes I do it. I hate it so much.
Is it because of your past relationship? Or just in general, like as a like you just don't like that?
I just don't like that tone. Again, I'm sure I've said it between the two of us. I just don't like the tone that it sets, because it makes it seem like I told you I knew what I was talking about and you don't know what you're talking about. That's what it gives to me.
That's what it gives to you, but that's not what. So in our relationship, I don't think have I said I told you so? Mm-hmm. Not recently, but
no, not recently.
But it was
we've talked about it.
Yeah. So when I said I told you so, literally, I told you so, you felt like I was saying.
I felt like you were saying, I know what I'm talking about, and you don't. That's why I told you so. And that's just my POV, as they say. And that's not to say that's what you meant, but that's what it gives for me.
So is it because you did you feel that way because you had a hard time receiving that you were wrong, or had a hard time receiving that I was right?
No, I don't have a hard time receiving that I'm wrong. And if you're right, I'll be like in a second, no, I was wrong. You're right. I think I said it last episode. Like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm wrong. What is hard about it is, like I said, the tone, and it does what we're talking about. Like, it puts being right above us. I feel like there's no reason to validate who's right and who's wrong, because it's like, what difference does it make? And what are you trying to say, or what are you trying to prove? And I don't mean you specifically, but anyone who says like, I told you, why you didn't do that? What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to make that person that you're with feel bad? Are you trying to make yourself, like, up yourself and feel good because you got something right? Like, what is the point of I told you so? And that's where I have the issue.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next question. Like, did you feel like I was hurting your feelings whenever I said I told you so? Like I was trying to hurt your feelings in a way?
No, I don't think you're trying to hurt my feelings, but I know it's something that we talked about that we would try not to bring into the relationship. I think that was one thing. And I think secondly, again, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to do when you say I told you so? What is the point? Yeah.
I think from my perspective, the I told you so comes from like, see, trust me, like I kind of know what I'm talking about in this regard. Not to say that you don't know what you're talking about, but you're not the only one that has knowledge in something. Not that I don't think that you're smart enough or you don't think things through or whatever it is. It's just me saying like, hey, I'm also there intellectually with you, or I just have some experience in this area. So this is what typically happens.
So it's validation for you almost?
I think it's more so validation.
Is there a better way to try and get validation when you've been proven to be correct? Is there a better way to say it than like I told you? Is there something that's less abrasive that you can think of?
Honestly, lately I haven't said anything when I'm right.
No, and I'm not. I'm not saying that you've said it. I'm just saying, just in general, for people who might be like, I told you so all the time. Shit. Is there a better?
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know what I would need to. What would I say in place of I told you so, or I'm right? It was like, or see, like maybe that's a way, but the tone of that could be taken
worse than I told you so sometimes.
Right. So from my end, I don't say anything and I just wait for you to be like, all right, girl, you got it.
There's got to be a better way. Just even for us, if we get into that rut, or if we get into that mindset, is it something like, babe, you got to believe me. Like, I kind of know too. Like, I have this experience. So
before I told you so, what happened is what you're saying, not after the fact.
I'm saying that I told you so wouldn't even happen. It would just be like, the sky is blue. Hey, I took science class. I know the sky is blue. Or like, not, I'm just using a BS example. But hey, I took a science class in high school and I was just drawing from my experience, and the sky is blue and this is why it's blue. Instead of be like, man, I told you the sky was blue. That tone, it just rubs me the wrong way.
I think what I'm asking you is where does that come into play? Like, are you saying before the I told you so what happened, which would be after the results of whatever that thing is? How can we find a better way to say it? Or is it when the I told you so is supposed to be in play? Are we supposed to try to find a different way of putting?
I think in place of I told you so. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So then the results of it, not the beforehand.
Yes. So, after something happens, you as a person, you realize that you were incorrect anyway. And for me, I'll be like, damn, I was wrong. You were right. For others, it may not be that easy. They may want to be right till the cows come home. And that is where, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship comes in.
Yeah.
So I feel like just for everybody, if at all possible, don't even bring I told you so into the situation, if possible, because people know when they're right. People know when they're wrong. Like you said, you're looking for validation. I understand that. So that's where the thing comes in where you might say, I took the science, babe, I took the science class in high school. This is why the sky is blue. This is what I learned. I'm like, okay, cool. That's how I look at it. I don't know how you feel about I told you so.
Honestly, you know how I feel about it, because when I know that you're right about something, what do I do?
Mock me.
Yeah. And that's how you know that you're right about something. So that's how I handle it. I handle it in a joking manner, like.
But I don't say. I might say like, I must be right because you just did that. Right. I might say that, but I really try not to say I told you so.
It doesn't.
really
It doesn't bother me.
Oh, see, I try not to say it because it bothers me, and I wouldn't want you to make. I wouldn't want to make you feel any type of way, especially knowing how it doesn't sit right in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I guess that answers how can I support you and support what you're feeling right now, as far as knowing that someone is right and needing that validation.
So meaning how, explain to me again.
So there's a part in what we have here that talks about how can you support what you're feeling right now in terms of the person feeling a way about the "I told you so," or in a way to work around it. So we kind of already touched.
Oh yeah, about explaining why I know what I know.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing. Like, explain why you know what you know. I feel like some people are going to be like, why do I have to explain why I know what I know? I know what I know because I know what I know.
Yeah,
but it's for the relationship, not for you.
Yeah, it's mainly for the relationship, because the thing is that when these conversations happen or don't happen, the resentment sets in.
Yeah.
And you start to, see your partner in a different light.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a keeping score type of situation. And if you feel like your partner always is trying to be right, it makes you feel less than.
It definitely does. And speaking of it, just in the previous relationship that I had, it was always it was an I told you so, but it was kind of, I guess, in a different manner. It was like I was always being accused of not being able to remember what happened and how it happened. And I'm like, if this is how I remember it and this is how you remember it, like, who's right? But she was just adamant about, well, I'm right. My memory is this, my memory is that. And so eventually I just started to doubt, like, okay, is that how it happened? Is that not how it happened? But then I'm like, it can't be every single time we get into it or have a disagreement that I am not right. It can't be. So now you get into, like, I'm trying to prove I'm right because she's trying to prove I'm wrong because she don't think I know what I'm talking about. So that's how you quickly fall into, like, the I told you so, or you're trying to be more right and you're not worried about your relationship.
That sounds like a little bit of manipulation to me.
No, for sure. All of the above.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to say about it, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. So, like, when we get into those moments and I realize that you're right, and I'd be like, do you take that as like an apology, or would you rather have like, all right, baby, yeah, that you were right?
It's funny because I don't know. I might take the all right, you were right as like sarcasm, possibly, depending on how you said it. So oddly enough, just you being like, it's like, okay, she sees where I'm coming from. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some satisfaction in that. Mm-hmm. Like, you saw where I was coming from. And it's not that I'm right, it's that you see where I'm coming from, and that I gave you like information that you eventually found out was like, okay, that is what it is. Like, I don't have to be right. I in the past felt like that I have to be right. And I think some of that is fueled by just being younger and being in a situation where it felt good to be right because I was always defending myself. But I don't always have to defend myself in this relationship. So it's really not about being right. It is about giving you the knowledge that I have, or it's about letting you know that, like, hey, I've gone through this and this was my experience, and I don't want you to go through the same experience and go through the bumps and the bruises, whatever it is. So just to make your road easier.
Yeah. I think on my end, when I do the, it almost like softens the blow for me. Cause like, damn, bitch, you was wrong. And so I use that because I am sarcastic a lot. And that's one of my sarcastic antics. And saying that, I was wrong. You was right. And so I like the fact that you accept that. Even though I can go further and say I was wrong, I could like flat out say I was wrong. But knowing that you take that and accept that me saying or mocking you is one of my funny ways of giving that to you.
Yeah, I take it. I don't have to hear I was wrong. I don't have to hear I was wrong. I don't have to hear any of that. I don't have to, but the acknowledgement of anything is always good, I guess.
Yeah. And then you also, like you mentioned earlier, you say when you're wrong, like, okay, yeah, he was right.
Yeah. And that's saying that you're wrong is a hard pill to swallow for anybody, I think. Just especially in a relationship for some reason. Like I feel like in public or with your friends, you'd be like, damn, I was wrong. But in a relationship, it is hard to be like, I was wrong, you were right. I was wrong.
You gotta, I feel like you really have to be in a vulnerable position with your partner and have that safe space already created, because being wrong in any relationship is hard, but in a relationship, a non-platonic relationship, I feel like it's a little bit amplified because there's so many feelings there. Yeah. And most of the times, I mean, in our relationship, I try not to do things to hurt your feelings. Same. And so you have to take that into account as well.
Yeah. I feel like probably in the past, I felt like if I did come back and say I was wrong, it would have been a whole like got made fun of, pointed at, like that type of immature shit. So that's where if I was wrong, I wasn't admitting it because I didn't want to get made fun of, or I didn't want her to take it and just run with it and just badger me and browbeat me. And because that's what was going to happen for sure. It was going to be amplified and it was going to be just like beat to death, basically. So very hard to say. But here I feel comfortable being vulnerable with you. And I'm okay with saying, I was wrong, because I don't feel like you're going to turn around and be like, and just do what she did, So you're right. You're right about that. Just if you're in a relationship where you feel comfortable being vulnerable, it's easier to say I was wrong. For sure.
Yeah. So along with that, like the agreeing to disagree also falls into play too, because there are going to be situations where you both can be right, but you could both be wrong at the same time. Yeah. In your own right. And so agreeing to disagree is a huge compromise, and which is one of the huge pillars of a relationship.
Yeah. I think one thing to note about agreeing to disagree is if you do so, then you got to let it go. Oh, and that's the hard part, because let it go. Exactly. Because it can be like, you know what? You're right. You got it. And that's sarcastic, or like, all right, we just going to agree to disagree because you just want to drop it. And if you're going to say that, you got to be able to then really actually let it go and don't bring it back up. I don't know. Have we ever agreed to disagree? I think we have when it comes to driving.
But because we've agreed to disagree and then drop it, that shit, I don't remember what we talked about. I don't know what the issue was.
I think it was driving. Something with driving.
Which we have very different.
Yes. But that will leave for another show.
Yeah. But agreeing to disagree also eliminates the pileup of unresolved issues that turn into small conflicts that eventually like chip away at the foundation that and your relationship has.
Yeah, and the safe space that you've created within your relationship. I think it's a good go-to if you really, truly, honestly cannot come to an agreement on a subject and you feel like it's going to get heated and it's just not worth it. I mean, a lot of arguments are in relationships. Are they really worth it?
Honestly, sometimes it's worth having the conversation.
Yes, but an argument is what I'm talking about.
It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't ever have to get to an argument if you have great communication foundation. But with that being said, there's something that I mentioned a long time ago in this podcast, which we don't really use it often because we get through conflicts pretty easily. The fuck it bucket.
Oh, yeah.
So the fuck it bucket, which I got from my sister many years ago. So there could be an issue that you and your partner get get over or whatever, and it's something that's a sensitive topic on both ends, feelings were hurt, but you finally came to a resolve about the situation, you put it in the fuck it bucket and never bring it back up again.
Yeah.
Because you don't want those healing wounds to be reopened again.
Right.
So fuck it bucket. Try it out. Get yours today.
Yeah, I like that, to get rid of things.
Did you ever try to create something like that in your other relationship, or maybe like mentally for you?
No, because I always felt like, and me saying this, I don't want to be like, oh, I was a victim, because it takes two to have these problems. But I always felt like I needed to defend myself, and I always felt like I needed to put up a strong front. So there was nothing like that, and I don't even know that it was an option, because of the fact that when we got into it, she was not sober. So trying to speak sense into a situation wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Also, we did therapy. We did like 3 sessions of therapy, and I would be open and honest about how I was feeling. And I think she felt like I was trying to make her feel bad when I was really trying to make her look bad when I was really trying to put everything out there on the table so that we could resolve it. And we would get into arguments about me doing that, like right after the session. So trying to have a fuck it bucket was not it. I don't think it was going to work. Like, I even tried to implement some of the things that she talked about. Like, there was this whole 4 horsemen of relationships that
4 horsemen.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. That the therapist, told us about and showed us where to get the information. I would try to implement that, and she would be mad if I did. So no opportunities for fucking buckets over here in that last relationship.
I hate to hear that for you, but
I don't, because we're here now.
I was gonna say, you're in a better place, thank God. Amen.
Amen.
Let's move on to something a little bit funnier, I guess a little bit lighter, I should say, to close out the topic of discussion: the petty Olympics.
We talked about that too when we first got together, that I don't like petty, but we get a little petty sometimes in like a
playful way.
Yeah. Cause I'll automatically be like, oh, you being petty?
So what's the pettiest thing that you think I've done?
I don't even know, because I don't keep it, because it doesn't really affect our relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's sad, because I have the same answer. But I don't know what the pettiest thing that you've done. What do you think the pettiest thing that you've done to me? Let's see if we flip the question around, if there's a way.
I don't even know. Probably threw something back in your face that you said to me when the time was right to make a point. That's probably the pettiest thing I've done, but I don't even know what that was, if that was something that I did.
I still don't know. I thought this was gonna be easier then.
Why would you think that? Okay, let's do it this way. So after you have an argument, and I'm talking in general. I mean, yes, we could talk about this too, but like our last argument was during one of our podcasts. So after you, when we were talking about laundry.
Oh, okay.
So after you get into it, or we get into it, or couples get into it, how do you come back together? Like, how do you come back together and make sure that everybody's okay, make sure that the problem is resolved, and who should be the first person to say it? Because if we're talking about, do you want to be right or do you want to be in a relationship, it's more important to make up than it is to be right. It's more important to be in a relationship than it is to be right. And so even if you feel like you're right, do you just say you're wrong so that everything is okay? Like, how do you handle?
If I'm right and I know I'm right in a situation, I don't think I would come back and say I'm wrong. I don't think that I would do that. But I do think that I would move on in a way, not to prove that I'm right, but move in a way that exemplifies what happens, what would happen if I did it the opposite way of what I said. Does that make any sense?
It would if you did it the opposite way of what you said. No, I don't get it.
Okay. How do we bring it back together? Right, that was the question.
Basically.
I think at that point your ego really has to die.
Yes, now that makes sense.
At that point, I feel like your ego has to die, and you have to, as part of being in a relationship, put on your big girl panties on, as my mama used to say, and deal with it. I think that if you want to be in a relationship, sometimes your ego has to take a backseat to a lot of the the toxicity that could happen from the situation if you don't.
Yeah, I agree. Because I have a hard time. I feel like I've gotten better, but when we first got together, like I held on to stuff, and that was I think a function of my previous relationship, because I didn't used to hold on to stuff when I was younger. I could let it go a lot easier, but through the years, things like sat with me, and I stewed on them, and I couldn't get over them. And now I'm a little bit better, but I feel like it still takes me a little bit more time than it takes you, because I'm like, how can you get over this and this happened in my head?
Well, I had to teach myself that, because, well, it wasn't a huge task to teach myself that, because I don't like harboring on things. I never was a type to hold grudges. I always wanted things to be copacetic. So in order to do that, sometimes you got to be like, dang, okay, well, fuck it. Like, fuck it, bucket.
But then that makes it could come off as like you really don't care about the situation.
But that's not how I feel. The way that I approach situations or issues is, if we talk about it and we get through it, because that's my biggest thing, is I want to talk about it and get through it. I've been in relationships where that was not a thing. They didn't want to talk about it at all. Like, they just wanted to be alone. And I'm just like, well, how do we get over it?
Yeah.
Right? How do you get over it if we can't talk about it? And so as long as we talk about it and come to a resolve and move on from there, I'm good. Like, I have a short-term memory anyway when it comes to stuff like that. It's easy for me to move on.
Yeah, I like that about you, though, that you can just like let stuff go like that, because it helps me to try and let it go, because what are we stewing on it for, especially if we will eventually come to a conclusion and everything's going to be cool.
Yeah, which is the reason why I always moved on fast when it came to relationships. If you did me wrong and I already X'd you out of my life or whatever, you ain't got to worry about me again.
I ain't gonna do you wrong.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do you wrong. I
don't know that song.
Yes, you do. RESPECT.
Oh,
right.
Stop trying to dumb wrestle me.
I'm not, but you be doing that on the slick too. I just be sitting there just enjoying your company, holding your hand, and you want to go and put your thumb on top of mine and hold it down, and then look at me with the devil eyes, like, I've been holding your thumb down for 23 seconds. Like, girl, let me go. Anyway, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Are you taking anything, leaving it?
I mean, just taking the fact that we prefer to be in relationship than to be right, and that, that's how it should be. Who cares who's right? And like you said, it's a big hit to your ego when you're wrong. It's probably like an ego like high when you're right, but at the end of the day, does it matter? Why are we trying to prove who's right or wrong? So that's it.
Okay. I am leaving the fact that I like to be right, and not that I want to prove you wrong, but be like,
I told you so. That's still that face. I told you so.
Yeah. So I'm leaving that, and I'm taking with me the fact that you accept my sarcasm when I mock you.
Okay.
Cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
All right. Until next time, peace.
She's stuck inside my mental. She got a body like a temple. Even though she drives me crazy, I tell everyone that's my baby. She's pretty like a 4K sunset, blue-eyed baby from the Midwest. Body so bad when she undressed. If I was your ex, I'd be upset. Little did he know I was up next. Big brown boy with the big flex. I know that you know I'm the one. She's stuck inside my mental. She got a body like a temple. Even though she drives me crazy, I tell everyone that's my baby. Lately gotta keep my memory